So now that you know everything there is to know about me, you ready to make me your girl or what? Because I'm ready to be Mrs. Third Quest. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a crash course to dating Bahamian women. It's called Dating Bahamian Women 101. We're going back to school, y'all. In putting together this crash course, I spent several weeks speaking to Bahamian men and non-Bahamian men who have dated Bahamian women about the ins and outs of the dating scene, what they expect and what they got. I didn't also draw on their experiences, but my very own experiences. No, I have never dated a Bahamian woman, but I do happen to have lots of Bahamian female friends. First thing I need to point out is that in the Bahamas, there is no dating culture. No one dates in the Bahamas. There is no protracted courtship where people go out and they decide, you know what, I'm gonna get to know this person. What do they like? What are their goals for the future? No, honey. And then we decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend. In the Bahamas, it's much more simplistic. You juice, then you gird. So if you're interested in knowing what it's like to date a Bahamian woman, stay tuned. I have to say again at the beginning that these are generalizations and you really ought to have a strong sense of humor. Every Bahamian woman out there isn't going to be like these people I'm going to describe. No, but for the men I spoke to, and I didn't speak to no little handful of men, I talked to a good number, or as Bahamians say, a goodly number of Bahamian men to find out about Bahamian women. And like I said, I have tons of Bahamian female friends, and these are observations through the years. So if you want to know more, keep watching. The first thing you need to know about Bahamian women is they're all private investigators. Let me tell you something. The CIA, the FBI, the DEA, the DEU, CID, CDU ain't got nothing on a Bahamian woman who are interested in finding out a man's information. So please keep that in mind when you are dating a Bahamian woman. All Bahamian women are connected. They know someone who worked at Scotia, who worked at Commonwealth Bank, who worked at the hospital, who worked at the clinics. They can find out any information on you, a potential suitor, like that. Every Bahamian woman knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. They could hack into your phone. I am not joking. They could hack into your phone. They can find out your text. They can find out anything about you. And let me tell you something. They can find out how much money you got in your account. So if you come talking about you some baller, as a baller. Keita, I want you to go look in this man account for me. Mind you, totally goes against like bank rules and everything, but it's the Bahamas. Ain't no consequences. So they go in somebody's account to find out if they have any money. I have known people who have done this. Not me though. Not me. Never me. Girl, you talk fool now. But I ain't call you on no social tip I need intel. You know someone named Rico Farrington?
Yeah, I know me from now on.
You could go in his files for me?
Oh, no, girl, you're trying to get me fired.
Girl, everybody's trying to get you fired. No, so you can go in the files or what? Don't forget what I do for you.
Oh, you petty.
Don't forget what I do for you.
I can't tell
That's fine.
In the file.
But tell me what he got without telling me what he got. Now clap. Bahamian women is run hot quick. Now I know we don't really have a reputation of being extremely hot-headed, but let me tell you something. When Bahamian women, oh Lord, they can run hot. Like you have some who you know you gotta really watch. It's like a slow burn with some Bahamian women, right? And when it reach like full inferno, it's dangerous. But you have some who's pop off real quick, like, and they ready to fight. They don't care where they are. They don't care if they're out to a public function. They're ready to fight. They will fight. Like, all I can say is don't take Bahamian woman for light. So if you're dating them and you think you could just pop off on her, like, and she's going to be like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to wait till we get home. That is not the Bahamian culture. Oh, I don't want to make a scene in public. If you as a man come talking hard to her, and Bahamian women don't like nobody talking hard, and don't talk hard to her in public and carry on, because now she looking around like, excuse me, who does man think he talking to? She will set you straight. She will go from 0 to 100 real quick. Bahamian woman is run hot real quick. There's an old song. There's an old song that says, you better run, Corporal Turner, run, run, run. All the Bahamians know the song. Send for the man of war. Tell them bring their gun. People like to say Jack Turner don't play. He break your neck for fun. But when Baintown woman catch a fire, even the devil run. You know what it is for someone to say when like a Baintown woman, Baintown is an area in Nassau. But like, I'd like to say even when Bahamian woman catch a fire, even the devil runs. So just keep that in mind. They go crazy. I know all the Bahamians who know that song was singing along when I was singing. Ah! Bahamian women can be dead petty. We sweet, you know. A lot of Bahamian women are very, very sweet. But if you push us to the limit and we see you getting petty with us, dog eat your lunch. Then ain't nothing gives some Bahamian women pleasure than to break a man when he try to pop off, especially in the front of other people. She can get real petty. She'll destroy your male ego. Smoke on who?
You need to just calm
Smoke
yourself
on
down
who?
before you smoke on
Smoke on who, boo-boo? Smoke on who?
Let off, boy.
Tear who head off with your small doggy. Why you saying this? All of a sudden now you're a small doggy whisperer? But play with your fat mouth, boy. 98% of the men who I spoke to said Bahamian women love to beg. I'm not talking about begging for sex. I'm talking about begging for money. I don't know if you ever watched my video on things to know before moving to the Bahamas. And if you haven't, please click above and watch that video. But I talked about like the tip culture in the Bahamas, how we ask for tips. We don't come out and say, we need you to give us money. We intimate that that's what we want, you know, by saying like, you know, if you're in a government office and you want something, you'll say, you know, like, oh, I need to eat lunch. I ain't got no money for lunch. And that's your cue to like give them money. Well, the men who I spoke to said Bahamian women are the same way. Like they're always with their hands out for something. This isn't every Bahamian woman, of course, but I could tell you I have seen it in action with some folks that I have known. The begging is out of control. They like to ask for things. They tingsy, as Bahamians say. They're very tingsy. They always want something from a man, whether it's money, whether it's uniform for their children going back to school, whether it's lunch or dinner or whatever, or bill gotta get paid because BTC about to cut off their phone or whatever. It's always something. They always begging. And they don't beg like you could give me a little, well, some of them must be like, man, come on something, man, come on something, something like that. And some like to intimate what they want. So just be prepared for that. Bahamian women don't back down easily. There's a quiet resolve about a lot of Bahamian women. They don't have to be like rambunctious to get what they want. Some will definitely get rowdy and physical if they have to, but you don't have to do that. Bahamian women don't have to do that to get their point across or to get what they want. They just don't back down. Like you'll get exhausted as a man in a relationship. You'll get exhausted and you'll just cave. You'll be like, you know. Of course, you have some men who'll be like, oh, I'll fight this fight to the end. You're wasting your time because she could hold out. Bahamian woman, I don't know, it's something in their DNA. They just don't back down for no one. Family, they don't care. They just don't back down. So in a relationship, you're going to have to deal with that. And I must say, if they ain't backing down, it's not because they're talking foolishness or doing foolishness and they just ain't backing down from that. If they feel like they're standing on principle, they feel like what they're saying is right, then they're not going to back down. They don't care. You know, the guy will just be like, man, throw his hands in the air and be like, you know, I tired of fighting. Which brings me to my next point. Bahamian women like to row. We rowdy. I'm one of them too. And I'm very rowdy and confrontational. And I'm not even ashamed of that. Like, I'm not somebody who just rolls up on somebody just to fight for no reason. But let me tell you something. If you do me wrong, I have no issue stepping to you. And a lot of Bahamian women are like that. Very confrontational. They'll pull your card real quick, pull your file real quick. They can be very rowdy, rambunctious, but they can also get you straight without even like raising their tone. It's just a way, and I can't describe it. I think you have to date a Bahamian woman to understand it. You know, there's a disapproving stare that she could give, or okay, you know, that woman would do, and you know, oh shoots, I in trouble. I in trouble, and she ain't rowing. Matter of fact, I always say the best place to get a Bahamian woman is in the rowing stage. If you see y'all keep rowing back and forth, you in the clear, you in the good zone. But if you see that Bahamian woman ain't rowing, like she just quiet and you doing foolishness, know that something coming. Okay, know that something coming. Bahamian women are very, very ambitious. And I don't care what station of life she's in, she's incredibly ambitious. Most of the Bahamian women that I know, they want more. They don't care if they, and some of them are quite delusional, to be honest, and I'll talk about that, right? But you have women who, it doesn't matter what area they grew up in, if they grew up in a poor family, it doesn't care if they didn't grow up with any money or anything. They have ambition to have way more. And they like having their own things. They like having their own money. They like having their own house or their own apartment or whatever. They just want their own. And so as a guy dating a woman like that, you have to understand, I don't want you as a male to feel intimidated by that. I've heard Bahamian men and foreign men say like, they just like, what place is there for me in the relationship if she's doing all this stuff? Well, you just got to bring more to the table if you want to get with her, because, you know, she could do a lot of stuff for herself. Bahamian women like to work. They like to earn their own money. So you definitely don't try to temper that ambition, that they're ambitious people. Now, you have some who are quite delusional, and I feel like, I don't think anyone is beneath anyone, but I think sometimes, like, for example, I knew this girl who was like a grocery packer, and having a conversation with her, she was like, she wanted a doctor or she wanted a lawyer boyfriend. She didn't want anybody else who was like on her socioeconomic wavelength, which makes sense, right? Because you say you want to date up in a sense financially, but it's like, why I say it's delusional is because you have to then consider the guy who's at the top of his game. Is he going to want to date someone who is not financially where he's at? And then he's going to have to end up supporting her, unless you're saying, I'm a packer today, but that ain't what I want to do. So that's why I say the delusion comes into play. And I know a lot of people are going to be offended by that. There's nothing wrong with having aspirations, but I think if you want to catch a certain fish, then you got to throw a certain bait. And if you ain't throwing the right bait, I don't know how you can catch that fish. You don't throw remote control in the water and expect to pull up a grouper. You just don't do that. You want to catch big fish, you got to have some sweet bait. That's the way I look at it. So that's why I say the delusion comes into play. Well, sweet boy, the way I look at it, I name woman, you name man. I might not have no education or no house or no money, but I mean, I still a catch. That's the way I look at it. And I don't expect to wait. So now that you know everything there is to know about me, you ready to make me your girl or what? Because I'm ready to be Mrs. Turnquist. Bahamian women are chronic complainers. It's like genetically wired in our DNA. A lot of you don't know this, but I used to study medicine. I went to med school. And the reason why a lot of you don't know this is because I didn't go to med school. But in not going to med school, I saw that our genetics are very intricately tied to chronic complaining. Always rowing about something. I mean, I'm a rower too now. I love to row. That's like my favorite pastime. But I'm not a chronic complainer. It's just like some Bahamian women always complaining, no matter how good you treat them, how well you treat them. It doesn't matter what you give them. It's always something to complain about. Just can't shut their damn mouth. Sometimes I listen to Bahamian women who I've worked with or I've come into contact with, and I'm like, yo, if I was a guy, I would never date you. All you do is run your mouth, just always complaining. So ungrateful. I don't care how good you look. Bad attitude can make you look ugly real quick. So I totally understand what men go through. But if you are messing up, you can expect to hear that mouth 24/9. 9 days a week. You can expect to hear her mouth. Under no circumstances are you to throw anything that you've done in a Bahamian woman's face. Now, when I say throw something in their face, I don't mean... What the... I mean, do not bring up something that you did out of the goodness of your heart and make her feel bad about it. Now, this is a very difficult subject because this is a very delicate tightrope that that tightrope you got to walk, because sometimes you get to arguing and sometimes people forget and you have to remind them, listen, the things that you're saying is not correct because of blah, 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 X, Y, Z. But I think it all boils down to tone. But if you run up on her like, babes, on the real, like when I meet you, use dragon slippers, okay? I put you in nice car. I give you that nice bag. You want to know Michael Kors bag when I get with you? Use dragon slippers and carry a super value bag. No, you can have this funky bag, boss. Look here, I say I want the bag. No, I want the bag. But it's main a bitch, no buller. Throw no $300 bag. My face. You ain't John Bull had this on sale for $120. You just too ungrateful. Don't try to throw this in my face. Ungrateful. That's a big problem. I find Bahamian women to be some of the most fun, energetic, and exciting people. And they're super witty, just super funny women. And I feel like if you get a good Bahamian woman, like you're gonna have a great time, like because she's always looking for something fun to do, something new to do. There's always a new adventure. And she doesn't feel confined by money or circumstances. She's gonna figure out a way. She's very resourceful, that Bahamian woman. She's gonna figure out a way for you to have fun. Even if y'all like in the early stages of your relationship and ain't much money between the two of you, she's very creative. She'll figure out like a plan to do things for you. So you're gonna have a good time with the Bahamian woman. Like most of the guys say Bahamian women really are witty. Bahamian women do not like cheap men. They don't like cheap men, okay? If you're gonna invite a Bahamian woman out to dinner, you better expect to pay. I think that's just, I mean, That should just be understood. You want to take her out. You've invited her out. She could go home and cook for herself. So if you're going to ask her out to dinner, you better be prepared to pay. I have talked to a few of my friends here in the States, Black women, white women, Hispanic women. I know quite a number of women, and they've dated American guys. And when they go out and they're telling me, well, you know, we split the bill. I'm like, what do you mean you split the bill? Y'all decided to go out together? Like y'all just were like, hey, we should just like hang out, like the two of you just, they're like, no.
You know, he invited me out.
And y'all split the bill? That ain't even, let me tell you something, that's so foreign to me. If the man invites you out, he pays. Now, I'm the type of person who believes that you should also treat your man, right? Sometimes he ain't gonna always have it, but if he's inviting you out to dinner, then he needs to pay consistently, okay? Every time he invites you out, now if he says, listen, money a little tight or whatever, man, then we could split it, or I could pick up the bill or whatever like that. But if he invites you out, he has to pay. And Bahamian women have that same expectation. Like, don't be cheap. Bahamian women are not cheap when it comes to finances. When it's your birthday, oh my God, they love to go all out and like planning nice little dinner, or cooking you nice dinner, or you know, buying you whatever you want, whether it's, you know, your favorite cologne or whatever it is. Like, Bahamian women love to have those experiences with their mate. They love to take care of them. So they expect to be taken care of too. Don't let birthday come and you giving them some cheap card that you wouldn't even sign your name to, and you ain't even putting no thought into what you buying them and stuff. So don't be a cheap guy if you're gonna date Bahamian woman. Like, that's a big no-no. You ain't gonna get no second date. And she might just block you on WhatsApp real quick. Don't be cheap. That's a big no-no. Bahamian women can be straight users. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. And it's so sad. I remember having a conversation with a relatively young Bahamian girl. She was in her early 20s and she has a kid. And I remember she was talking about going out on a date with this guy. And he took her to this nice fancy restaurant. And the price point was really high at the restaurant. And she was ordering like the most expensive thing on the menu. I'm like, okay. So let me say this to my Bahamian ladies who are gonna be watching this. Just because a guy say he's going to take you to dinner or treat, right? And I think he should pay if he asks you, like you heard me say earlier, he should pay. That doesn't mean you should take advantage. Like, don't take advantage of the situation ordering the most expensive stuff on the menu that you wouldn't even order if you were eating by yourself. But not only did she do that, but she also ordered carry out for her son, and she ordered like the surf and turf. Now her son was really young. He can't appreciate no surf and turf. I would have tell that boy, well, let's pull up here to McDonald's and we get him one Happy Meal, and that's that. Anyway, kiddies, that brings us to the end of this crash course. If you've made it to the absolute end, you will get your certificate in the mail by the end of August. And this was a free course, of course. But you do have to pay a little something. You have to subscribe to my channel down below, and of course hit the like button, and then that's it. For the guys out there or non-Bahamians who have dated Bahamian women, I want you all to weigh in and let me know what your experiences have been like dating Bahamian women. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Women, of course, I'm sure you all got something to say too, because this ain't applying to me. I know it ain't applying to you because I said they are generalizations, and this what the man damn say about, you know. So just drop your comments down below. Of course, if there are Bahamians watching, I want you to drop your flags down below as well. Drop your Bahamian flag, and if you're from different Caribbean countries or wherever you're from, just drop your flag down below. Let me see who is represented on my channel. But thank you so much for watching, and yeah, just take it easy dating these Bahamian gals, eh? And don't forget to watch the one on Bahamian men, so for the women who are interested in dating Bahamian men, they can know what to expect. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. My name is Rogan. Mwah. Bye.